everyone. This is Dr. Dees. Who's on the call tonight? Anyone want to say hello? Everybody at once. Nina in Florida. Nina in Spring. I know you. Joy. Good evening. Or good day for some of you. Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. I actually get a printout, so I do know that you're there. But I just love to hear your voices. All right, everybody. This is Dr. Dees. I know a lot of you have been emailing me and texting me that you're making dinner and you're in the car, but you're on. So I'm giving you all a little just time to dial in or call in. Remember, guys, this is an interactive call. You can star 6 to mute yourselves and star 6 to unmute yourself and speak. You can also just hit your mute button, all right? This call, everybody, is for you. This is a way for us to kind of communicate, exchange ideas, discuss our experiences, share with each other, so we all have some of those aha moments where we learn to use and consume these Sunrider foods and products, maybe in a new way or for the first time. There are a lot of you who are on here for the first time, and I can see some of you who have been with Sunrider for a very long time. As I really love to share with you, all our experiences are really valuable. So whether it's an experience you had 20 years ago, or it's an experience you had 2 days ago, it matters. And it matters to the person that's listening. So please, please, please share. So this call again is regarding our Sunrider foods that we use, we consume, we put on our skin, we clean our houses with, and all of us who are on this call are using them and having results with them. So again, I want to just start tonight by laying a foundation and just kind of sharing with you Sunrider's mission. And then I want to ask you if anyone would like to share any of their experiences. And remember, whether it's Lisa or Jackie or Jeannie or whomever else is on, just know you matter. You really do. And I know a lot of your experiences, you feel like maybe you've shared a few times. I promise you, every time you share, everybody learns something new, and it really does mean something. So I am literally taking from Sunrider's catalog right now. And I want you to know that any of the information that I have, if you need it, I will tell you where it is, or I will tell you where to find it, okay? My background is in the field of nutrition and biology. I am a doctorate in both fields for many, many years. And I have been using and consuming these foods for over 20 years, raised my children, built a practice, worked at Stanford for a long time in their fertility and infertility center where I focused on the endocrine system. And so I've been using these foods in many different ways for many different years. I do want to say before I give you Sunrider's mission that for all of you, and my goodness, a lot of you are calling my office line. I want to give you my email. So if you want to reach me, go ahead and email me, because my children, some of them are still not back in school. We are in Boston, and our state still has barely opened, and our children went back only today for the first time, and we'll see how long that lasts. It's very simple. It's just Dr. Dees, DRDEES @comcast.net. And that way, as many of you know, if I'm in the pickup line, drop off. If I'm in my office, if I'm at home, I will always check, okay? If you want to text me, I'm giving you my cell phone. You ready? 508-685-4234. Go ahead and text me. I know so many of you have been leaving messages, and because of the virus, my office manager has not been in my office. So I want you to be able to reach me. Okay? All right. So directly from the catalog.
Could you repeat that, please?
Sure, with the phone number. Absolutely, 508-685-4234. And I ask that you text versus call, because I may be in a meeting or with one of the kids. But I promise you I will read the text and get back to you. Okay, and I know a lot of you are trying to get into my office, so I will get you in and we'll get you your forms or whatever else you need, okay? All right, everyone, this is directly from the Sunrider catalog, and in case you haven't figured this out, I am just a glutton for research. I love it. It's my passion. I research, and so this is from the catalog on page, doesn't really matter, but it's the first page, and it really is about Sunrider, and Sunrider is the only line of whole food nutrition that I carry in my office, in my practice, and have for over 20 years. I stand very firmly by it, and I believe that for all of us, we need to feel safe and confident that what we put in our bodies is healthy for us, and what we share with someone else is healthy for them. I take that very seriously. I know you do also, and I feel completely confident with the Sunrider products. Who we are. Sunrider states we are a world-class company that creates the finest herb-based products. Our purpose is to nourish the world and inspire a life of balance, authenticity, and well-being. Our vision is to foster a culture of opportunity so that all people anywhere feel empowered to challenge conventions, push beyond your boundaries, and pave your own path to success. We believe that investing in the holistic well-being of people allows them, you, to live out your best life. Because of this, we are committed to empowering personal and professional prosperity while supporting healthy living. Our values, this matters, everybody. Values matter. Our values, integrity. We protect the true nature of ingredients and refuse to compromise the nutritional power in our products, promoting complete wellness in families and communities around the world. Innovation. We marry the intelligence of nature with the intellect of modern technology so that they complement each other, not compete. We believe that everyone is capable of success, and we are committed to empowering each person to lead a life of independence and prosperity. Harmony. We pursue balance in our lives and bodies, and we are committed to nurturing people's pursuit of a whole and peaceful life. Connectedness. We believe in the unshakable connections within ourselves, to people surrounding us, to our immediate environment, and to the universe. Wisdom. We root all our decisions in compassion for people and care for the future, using our collective knowledge for greater good. And then reward. We believe that everyone is capable of success and are committed to empowering each person to lead a life of independence and prosperity. So their values that they stated: integrity, innovation, harmony, connectedness, wisdom, and reward, and investing in a holistic well-being of all people so that you can live out your best life. That is who Sunrider is. And that is why they are so special. And I think we are all so blessed and so grateful. Another important factor about Sunrider is that this is grounded in tradition, advancing through innovation. And I love this. And I'm just going to share this little paragraph with you that I found really important, and I keep by my desk, actually. And it says, our company was founded by Dr. Teifu Chen, a world-renowned herbalist with a degree in pharmacy, and Dr. Oi Lin Chen, his wife, who is a licensed medical doctor, a Western medical doctor. They started Sunrider from a very small office in Utah in 1982. But their remarkable journey really began in Teifu's home country of Taiwan, where he learned from his grandfather that herbs were more than nutritious food. They were traditional medicine. Teifu, who was a sickly boy, received from his grandfather many recipes to cure and improve his health, all based in ancient herbal remedies. These remedies were so powerful that it sparked in Teifu a lifelong passion for Chinese herbal philosophy. So he continued his study of herbs and chemistry in college. While there, he married a gifted medical student from Hong Kong, Dr. Oi Lin Chen. Today, Dr. Oi Lin Chen, a Western-trained medical doctor, and the president of Sunrider, Dr. Teifu Chen, visionary entrepreneur, and their 5 children are actively involved in managing the company, a global enterprise operating in nearly 50 countries and territories with thousands of independent business owners and franchise stores. The reason I love that and take it to heart is because here you've got a young child, and all of us, right? We all look at the children and we think, my goodness, our goal is for them to be healthy and have a prosperous life, healthy, happy. And he was a sickly child. And I love that it was his grandfather, right? His grandfather, who really, from old school thinking, herbal tradition, herbal medicine, really from the garden, taught him how to nourish and feed himself so that his body could do something spectacular, regenerate. And Sunrider's entire company and philosophy is based upon that one word that he learned growing up through his grandfather, through the experience of his own health, regenerate. If you put in your body the correct herbs or the correct ingredients, enough of them in a concentrated form, your body can, is capable of, and will repair, renew itself, and regenerate. Or as I always like to tell you, turn the clock back, right? Actually allow for your body to heal. And although we don't use the word and talk about cure, the truth is our bodies are miraculous. And if we give them enough of the whole foods in their whole food state, such as the orange, right? Versus really depleting the orange and really removing the ascorbic acid or the vitamin C, but keep it in the orange, right? And then you eat the orange. If we keep these foods in their whole food state, and then we're able to consume them, or we put them on our skin, our bodies can do what Dr. Teifu Chen's did: repair, renew, and make new, regenerate. So always remember, regeneration really means to make anew. And that is why, after all these years, I am so grateful that their commitment, investment into all of us, right? Into all of us remains their priority. But it all stems back from one young boy's experience with his grandfather in the garden. So that is what Sunrider is all about. Tonight, we will talk about products. And some of these products that truly originated, I love to say this, from Dr. Chen's grandfather's garden, right? But in a modern way. So before I do that, would anyone like to ask a question? Do you have any experiences any of the products, I mean any, that you've been using or have used in the past that you really love and you want to share?
I will share. Karen's favorite product is mine. I have many, but we should have talked about fruit and veggie rinse.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I use this throughout my home. When I'm cooking, I many times have a little bowl with it in there, and so then I clean my cutting boards with it. If I'm messing with raw meat, I write down things to sanitize. I love using the sponge. I know, full of bacteria, but I constantly using the fruit and veggie rinse. I, am constantly cleaning it. Also, first aid kit. Use it on if somebody gets hurt, cut with my kids' wounds, cleaning them, and also my pets. Had a friend whose daughter had gotten belly button piercing, and they had given her a product to keep that and help it heal, and it was not looking good at all, and I recommended this, and within a day, she could tell that it was already turning around and healing.
I'm fascinated.
Poison ivy, poison oak, and my son, and then my daughter, when she got older, during certain times of the year, they would get this weird rash from like their elbows down to their hands, and I couldn't figure out what it was for the longest time, and finally realized it was whenever they closed the schools down for any type of vacation,
like disinfecting, like cleaning.
Yes, from the desk, and that neutralizes that on their skin. The veggie rinse heals it. And I could probably think of many more, but I don't want to take up all the time. So.
No, you'll never take up time. You can always talk. I love what you have to say. That is something really important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back you up, and I'm just going to let everyone know what's on the product fact sheet. But I have to tell you, you just threw out a lot of ahas, because my phone is blowing up with, I didn't know it did that. Another moment where we forget or we don't know, right? Until someone shares with us their experiences. And I just want to add to that before I tell you a little bit about this product, and then I'll go into what I'm going to talk about. That is, when you go into a lot of the stores now, we have a store out here called Dick's. It's a sporting goods store. And the kids are into sports, and I'm into a lot. Regardless, whether it's Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Macy's, Dick's, it doesn't matter. For a lot of you, I think you may forget, everything's being sprayed down exactly like they're talking about with schools. And because all of my kids went back today, I walked in, the aroma of bleach knocked me down. And I had a mask on, and it knocked me down. And so you guys have to understand, every store is being cleaned like that and sprayed before you ever walk in. So if you aren't sure why I'm getting a rash, why am I itchy, right? Or even your skin is drying out, a lot of times it's actually what's been sprayed or what you're touching in the stores or in the schools. Go ahead. I heard someone. I thought someone was interrupting. The fruit and vegetable rinse is very interesting, because a lot of you think that it's just for fruit and vegetables, but what you're hearing is that it kills bacteria on everything. And more than that, it makes a huge difference in the healing, right, of things as we're talking about. And I promise you, this is the first time a lot of you have heard about the belly button piercing. I had one that had pierced ears during the pandemic. We did the pierced ears and got infected. We used the same thing, fruit and vegetable rinse. But here's what Sunrider says. This is important. Wash away dirt, pesticide. That's a big word, a really important word, guys. It's not just clean it like water does or soapy water. We're talking about wash away the pesticides derivatives, eco-friendly, of corn and coconut. And Sunrider Dr. Chen first invented it to actually use on the machinery that was making your new plus. And he wanted to make sure there was never any bacteria anywhere outside in the manufacturing facility. And he created initially fruit and vegetable rinse in an eco-friendly, organic, you can eat it way, beginning there. And I always found that fascinating, because for a lot of us, we think, well, there's fruit and vegetable rinses in the supermarket and on other shelves. It's probably nothing. It's a big deal. None of them are made from corn and coconut, I promise you. They're not. And so this was a way to actually, which is in his brilliance, to create a product that would kill mold, mildew, bacteria. Think of things like strep, staph. Anybody that touches that, I always say this, that apple, before you pick it up in the market, even if for a lot of you, like in my state, that are still Instacarting, and you don't know who's dropping it off at your house, even those that are buying organic, we never know who's touched it in the fields, who's picked it, and what was on their hands. We also don't know who sneezed, who coughed. And then more than that, I love this piece, which is you can wash your cutting boards. I always, just an FYI, every time I fill my sink up with a small cap full of fruit and vegetable rinse, I throw my sponge in. Always. I'm constantly throwing sponges in. But the other piece is you can use it topically. So if you have any kind of what looks like a rash or bumps and you don't know what they're from, people use it when they are questioning if they have athlete's foot, right? A lot of people will rinse with it if they feel like they have a sore throat and there's a little bacteria. I know when I travel, when I was in Korea, my stomach was bothering me. I put a couple drops in water and drank it. There's all sorts of reasons you can use this, because it's food grade. And that's the difference with Sunrider and everybody else's product on the market. This is food. It's just a question of, we all walk around, right, carrying or things on our hands, or we've touched something. And this is one really holistic way to help your family, but also to keep your fruits, your vegetables, your cutting boards, your eggs, your potatoes. You can put it in a spray bottle and do your counters. Sunrider also states that it's safe for your family, the environment, and you can enjoy peace of mind, and I take that to heart after this year, right? With a cleaner, brighter, tastier produce. And Sunrider states that all you have to do is mix one capsule, and when you look at the bottle online or in your catalog, it looks like that cap is really big, but it's truly inside it. There's a small little cap that's exactly the same size, whether you buy the large bottle, the 16-ounce, or you buy what I say the travel size is. And travel size just means, guys, that you can keep it in your purse, in your car, in your office. It doesn't mean you actually have to travel out of state or out of the country. I keep a couple of them all the time around. My favorite question that Sunrider states is, do I need to wash organic produce? And this was the question that just came from it. Sunrider's answer emphatically is yes. Even if you buy organic fruits and vegetables, the handling, packaging, shipping, and in-store displays may introduce a variety of contaminants. Likewise, even pre-washed, and that's always a question when everyone buys pre-washed vegetables, lettuce, right? The celery's already cut up. The carrots are already cut up. They're in a bag, and you just assume you can go from the bag to the bowl. And Sunrider is saying, likewise, even pre-washed produce might still have dirt, residue, bacteria, and chemicals on it. Our formula is powered by a biodegradable surfactant, which is derived, as I said, from cornstarch, actually, which is edible and has no harmful residue, and coconut. And all you need to do is mix 1 inner capful, right, in either your bucket of water, your pail of water, your bowl of water, or what I like to do is just fill up the sink and throw everything in. I also want to remind you, because this question comes up a lot, that if your fruits and vegetables have a waxy coating, because they were so pretty when they started, they were so shiny, right? They had a waxy coating on them. You want to keep them in the solution for 5 minutes and then wipe them dry. You don't even have to rinse them. 5 minutes. But everything else can really just be in there for 1 minute, pat it dry, and you're done. Okay? So I hope that a lot of you will take that to heart in using this product and feeling safe with this product, and reminding yourselves, as we just learned, that there are many uses for all of our products, and this is one, the Sunrider Fruit and Vegetable Rinse. And I am so grateful you shared it. Yes, go for it.
Can I say something? This is Kathleen from Canada.
Hi.
And hi. I really appreciate the fruit veggie rinse for many reasons, not just for my food. But I've had a couple of very amazing experiences with it. One with an earache when my daughter was, because it kills bacteria. Just 1 second, I'm making French fries in the oven. My timer's going.
So fine.
My little one, she couldn't talk. Of course, she's an infant and had been out in the wind. I didn't have a hat on her. And in the evening, she's screaming and not knowing what's going on. And all of a sudden, I see a big red ear. And so, not knowing what to do, I called my Sunrider upline in the city, and I said, "Does Sunrider have anything to do to help with earaches?" And she said, "Absolutely." So she said, "Put a few little drops of fruit and veggie rinse in some warm water, take a little dropper, and put that in her ear, and then leave it. It will fizz." She said, "Actually, it was like the plain drops, but put them in a very little bit of water." And she says it'll fizz. You might see the fizz, or you may not. And then she encouraged me to just rinse it out with a dropper of water. And my daughter was screaming. And I did not want to I would have taken her to the hospital, of course, but not so late at night. I've got 3 other kids that I have to put to bed, and so I'm always trying the natural thing first. So I put that stuff in, and no word of a lie, within 30 seconds after I had that in, she stopped crying. I was absolutely amazed, and I didn't quite believe it, until about 3 weeks later. I myself got an earache running to school with my hair wet, to pick up my kids in the wind, cool wind, and I developed an earache. I did the same thing on myself, just took a cotton swab and I doused it with fruit and veggie rinse, and I wiped my ear out, and it stopped the earache. It kills the bacteria, whatever kind of bacteria it was, and it relieved it like it was instantaneous. And so that's one story. And then the other one was my daughter, somebody in school had lice, so my daughter got lice. And I'm like, oh, I got the heebie-jeebies at first. And then I called my upline again, and she said, of course we have something to do. You douse it. The lice have that waxy coating on the outside, and fruit and veggie rinse penetrates that waxy coating and paralyzes the lice. And so I went and ordered her head all full of this stuff, and it killed them instantly. And I didn't have to go and get that horrible toxic stuff to do put that on her head. So I was I'm very grateful for the other uses of fruit and veggie rinse that we don't normally talk about. We advertise for the fruit and veggie rinse, but it has so many different uses. And it's such a multi-purpose thing to have in your medicine cabinet.
This is wonderful. And I am positive you just impacted a lot of lives.
Yeah, it's been so wonderful. I don't run out of that stuff. not just for my food, but it's nice having it around anytime I have any kind of a, like you said, a sore throat or an earache. I take a little cotton swab, I put some on it, and I wipe my ear out. And it just really is very, very effective for that. And I love that.
I didn't
have to put an antibiotic, which is wonderful.
I love what you said, which was, I would have taken the kids to the hospital, of course, but this is my first go-to, right? It's going to be the natural, and then I'll go if I have to, right? To the doctor. Yeah. I love that you said that, because that's important, guys. This is wonderful as our first go-to. And isn't it amazing that our first go-to worked? Because natural does work. Holistic does work. We just have to know to try it. But if it had not, she would have gone directly to the hospital. And as some of you just texted me, you spray this on your plants to get rid of all of the insects without harming them. Keep. I love this. I'm reading these. You spray this in your shower as a shower cleanser. You are using this, and I did this too. I have to be honest, and I still do. I put it in a spray bottle and spray all the books in the house, all the kids' toys, right? Even in the air, I spray remote controllers, whatever it may be. Because the phones, because I think that it becomes important to realize bacteria, right, is everywhere, and we're all bringing it in the house. But I think that as we just learn, sometimes we get stuck in maybe it only cleans the fruits and the vegetables. And there's so many more uses. So I am so glad you guys are sharing this.
Dr. Dave?
Yes, go for it.
This is Margie. Just a reminder to everybody, too, when you, the refresher drops from the Sun Smile line, it has the same ingredients that the fruit veggie rinse has, but it tastes better, and it's not as concentrated. So you can put that, we use it in our own family. If you ever get a sore throat, you put a couple drops of the refresher drops on the back of your tongue. It will help get rid of the whatever infection or bacteria that are in your throat. And many times I've been around people who have been sick, and I always just put that on the back of my tongue whenever I'm around anybody like that, and I never, you don't get sick. One time I was playing cards, my husband and I were playing cards with somebody, and they kept complaining about the sore throat, and I go, oh, everybody needs this, so they put it all on their tongue. The next day they called and said, oh, sorry, I have strep. And so it's funny because her husband was playing cards with us. He put a ton on his tongue, and it's funny because he's the only one who didn't get strep, and she and all of her family got strep, because hers was probably past her throat at that time. But the rest of us never got any sick. And we use the refresher drops all the time. But I've accidentally, same kind of bottle of dark, I've accidentally squirted the veggie rinse down my throat. Do not do that. It's highly concentrated. And then if you put water in there, it even goes nuts. So the refresher drops are much
Okay, so I'm going to cover this because I've been known to kind of go to a different place when some of these testimonies are more important. I like what Margie's saying here. So Miss Margie over there is pointing out, guys, for all of you that are texting me and asking, yes, Margie, tell me if I'm correct here. The fruit and vegetable rinse, as she's talking about, are in the refresher drops. The refresher drops, guys, are in the oral care line. They're all looking for them. They're in the oral care line. Toothpaste, the tooth whiteners. You will see something that is called refresher drops. And 3 of you just texted and said, I've never heard of them. I didn't know they even had them. I've been with Sunbuster for many years. Margie, see? Okay. So I'm going to let you know what the product fact sheet says and why. And I want to just say that this is important because a lot of times, even though next week, guys, I'm talking a little bit more about your belly fat and your weight. But the reality is, when you're out and about, or if you notice your throat is scratchy, all of those things, we all think, okay, I need to treat this, I need to do something. Margie just pointed out that she and her family are using this most likely on their toothbrush every day. And you can use it with the Sunrider toothpaste every day. And instead of waiting, guys, for the sore throat or the bacteria, and an FYI, a lot of that bacteria, guys, is coming from your sinus cavities that drains in the back of your throat when you're sleeping or when you're up and about and you notice, right, with your allergies, that's bacteria. And what this does is this is going to kill the bacteria instead of waiting for an actual outbreak. And this is important, I think, for everyone. Now, we're in an industry, right, where people use mouthwash every day. Think of this in place of your mouthwash. That you brush your teeth, you're going to use maybe your tooth whitener, but you also need to make sure your gums, your throat, the esophagus, all the bacteria that normally collects is taken care of without poisoning yourselves, right? And this is a way for us to do it in a holistic, healthy way. This is also fine for the children. And so Margie's right. This is a much more pleasant flavor than the actual fruit and vegetable rinse, but it is in here. So Sunrider says, kiss bad breath goodbye, right, because it freshens your breath. These are called refresher drops. They awaken your mouth with the cool, fresh, minty freshness just with a few drops. It's concentrated. That's why you just need a few drops like everything else. It's concentrated. But here's the key. It's got eucalyptus and neem tree extracts, which are actually what's in the toothpaste, and in your Sun Smile tabs, which are actually toothpaste in little tablets that you can chew throughout the day. But the eucalyptus, which a lot of you know from your Sunbreeze, but the eucalyptus and the neem tree extracts whiten your teeth and support healthy teeth and gums, while the peppermint oil and the clove will freshen the breath. That's in the refresher drops. Sunrider states that it will support your oral health, the throat, the gums, the teeth. And for me, I think of it a little bit even larger, which is that bacteria, as I said to you, that drains the back of your throat, that really causes a lot of problems for a lot of you. Two of the main ingredients that are in here that I think are important, and I'm just going to read you what they do. One says that the eucalyptus oil actually cleans, right, the teeth and the gums. And so you, as Margie did, you can actually put a couple drops on your tongue when you're out and about if you want. And just use your tongue, wipe it around your teeth. It's fine. It'll actually clean your teeth. But the other thing is that it's the clove oil. Clove oil is an aromatic herb that we know is a natural breath freshener. But here's the key. It's an antiseptic. And so as an antiseptic, right, we know it's going to make all the difference in killing that bacteria. It's the same with the neem tree extract. Equally. So this is also a natural antiseptic. It safely will whiten your teeth. It will also clean your gums, right? Those hard to reach places. And it will help your mouth to feel healthy. A lot of you who get canker sores and you have inflammation in your mouth and you have allergies and you have flare-ups. This along with your oral care line, the oral care line, but this specifically, if you just put a couple drops in your mouth, put a couple drops on your toothbrush every morning, every night, it'll make all the difference. And then the last one, which I think is equally as important, has a little bit to do, I think, with something that some of you asked me about some time ago, which was, how is the Sun Smile Refresher Drops different from other brands? And a lot of you ask, and I'm always saying, you mean like Listerine or some of these others, but a lot of you are looking more like Tom's toothpaste. So Sunrider has answered it. Typical mouthwashes often contain a number of ingredients that can be harmful if swallowed. And I want to just state right there, that's the key. It's the same with the hand cleansing gel. I've always said this. One of the worst side effects for children is they lick their hands or they rub their noses after they use a hand cleansing gel, but it's not a problem with the Sunrider. It's the same when you're using refresher drops versus a mouthwash or a mouth rinse. Can't swallow those. You can swallow this. And so therefore, not only does it kill the bacteria in your mouth, but all the way down your throat. Think of that. Your esophagus, all the way through, all that bacteria. Sunrider states that I'm just going to paraphrase here for you, and it says that most are disinfectants, right? So most are going to do the same thing. They're going to kill germs. However, they're not going to be soothing, healing, or regenerating for you. They're just really just about something that kills you and seriously harms you. And with our Sunrider, the drops are made safe. And they're free of alcohol and any potentially harmful ingredients. Okay, so you can use it with your herbal toothpaste on your toothbrush. The kids can use it. It's very minty. It's got what feels like sun breeze, but also it's got the fruit and vegetable rinse in it. And it is, I think, for a lot of you, one of those products that you really have never used or don't use enough. And because I'm talking about it for a minute, I just want to morph into, for a minute, although I wasn't planning on it, but here I go, just into the Sun Smile tabs. Because again, I think that when you're a little bit more knowledgeable on some of this, you'll buy it. So right now we're going to get our fruit and vegetable rinse, right? And we're going to clean our fruits and vegetables and cutting boards and belly button rings. And then we're going to get the refresher drops so that we can, in a very holistic but very calming way, take care of all the bacteria in our throats so that we can avoid the strep and the canker sores and all of the bad breath. And I remember, guys, the halitosis or bad breath starts with your stomach. Because you can swallow this, guys, this is very healing on the stomach. But the Sun Smile tablets, which a lot of you use periodically, but not enough, I want to just kind of go over. And these look like they pop out. Some of you think they taste a little bit like a mint gum. But the Sun Smile tabs actually are a combination of your toothpaste and your refresher drops. And it's another way, when you chew them, they fizz a little bit. And Sunrider writes that they're sugar-free, which is very important to a lot of you. They freshen your breath very quickly. They taste very minty. They have a lot of antioxidants, vitamins, the herbal extracts like the peppermint oil. They're amazing for this oral hygiene, right? You can put them in your pocket and go. They can go to college, they can go to work, they can go to the grocery store, wherever you're going, right? The interesting part is there's nothing in here that's artificial. So even for a lot of you, you've compared them to Mentos and some of these lifesaver kind of things, mints, they're at the store. But these have no artificial flavors. And as I like to say, they're sugar-free, but they don't have aspartame. They don't have saccharin. And that's important. A lot of times when something says sugar-free, it'll have aspartame. This does not. This has no artificial color, no preservatives, and they're sweet because they have our Sunny Dew or Sun Nectar, the Stevia rubadiana root in them. That's why they taste sweet. So there's no sugar, it's stevia. And because our stevia is antifungal and antibacterial, it makes all the difference, right? In your mouth and as you swallow it, through your stomach and your intestine. I want to remind you, I really want to remind you that these are fortified with whole food, vitamin A, C, and E, which is really just citrus fruit, okay? think of it like that. But the bottom line here is that they have a lot of organic food-grade vitamin C. And the vitamin C actually is an antioxidant that what I like to say is it combats free radicals. Free radicals are those things that we talk about a lot of times with Cali tea or Fortune Delight that you breathe in, you take in, you unknowingly, right, consume, that the body doesn't know what to do with, and they just kind of move around, right? They're invaders in your body that can metastasize and do funky things, and our goal is to get rid of these free radicals. And so vitamin C is, or the citrus bioflavonoids, are an antioxidant that's in here that combats these free radicals in your mouth, okay? That and in the rest of your body. They work, right, really beautifully with the vitamin C that's also in here. And what I really like is that Sunrider writes under their facts and questions, how are the Sun Smile tabs different from any other breath mint? And I think this is the key here. This is usually what people like to know, is that many popular breath mints, right, have sugar, like we talked about, and artificial ingredients for flavoring. The sugar, here's the key, guys, sugar feeds bacteria. Do you know that? Sugar feeds bacteria, allowing harmful bacteria to breed, which can lead to cavities. And if we just think of this, if sugar feeds bacteria in our mouth, what's it doing in the rest of our bodies, right? But for this moment, it feeds the bacteria, allowing for harmful bacteria to breed, which can lead to the cavities. The Sun Smile tabs are sugar-free, so they do not promote tooth decay or feed bacteria in your mouth. Not only are they refreshing and they're chewable, but they contain those protective antioxidants from the citrus bioflavonoids. And what they do is they promote, right, good oral hygiene. So every time you chew them, you suck on them, you are literally putting a protective coating all through your mouth. And for a lot of you, as you're texting me, you're saying, how did I miss all of this? How did I not know any of this about fruit and vegetable rinse, about refresher drops, or about Sun Smile tabs? So I think that for this moment, this may be really important information for us to kind of just sit with for a minute. So I'm going to ask all of you, is this new to you? Do you have these in your house? Would you like to buy them? I hope you're buying them. And for those of you that are using them, what do you think?
Dr. D?
Yes.
One more thing I thought of is my daughter uses a Clarisonic, those little vibrating brushes, and
yes.
I have heard that a lot of people will start using them and love them, but then they'll start breaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things she has always done is use a little bit of, she had acne as a teenager, and she would use fruit and veggie rinse on her face. However, we are talking about an awful lot of off-label, uses that we use before. So I must say, do not get this in your eyes. And so she's always used the fruit and veggie rinse, and she has never had a problem with that. And I imagine it's because it's keeping her brush sterile, where other people
yes.
changing it out enough, because they tell you that to replace those pretty frequently. Same with toothbrushes.
Yes.
And one more thing was, it's my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, that fruit and veggie rinse, once mixed up, use it within like an hour, because then it starts losing its potency, because it must do this, or it would disrupt the bacteria for anybody who has septic systems and that sort of thing. So when you mix it up in a spray bottle to use it that way, you can't have it mixed up for days or anything. You must use it immediately.
Correct.
And so when doing it like for light and that I also used it for my Children for Life, and that it doesn't kill bacteria in the normal way that most things do by poisoning them, poisoning the bugs and all this stuff, that it actually strips away something that is protective to them and they die. And that is why most life things you have to do more than once, because you have to wait for the nits to, come alive, hatch, whatever they do. And the fruit and vegetables kills not only the ones that have already hatched, but it strips away so that the nits cannot hatch.
Yes. All of that is correct and really good information. And I just want to add to that you can put a little capsule in your sink and wash all your makeup brushes. You can wash your hairbrushes, you can wash your toothbrushes, you can wash anything you want. And I want to say that this is also in our Super Clean. So if you're using the household cleaner, that's fine, but I do wash my makeup brushes, hairbrushes, all those kind of face brushes, everything, even the loofah, all the loofah brushes in the fruit and vegetable rinse. So good information. I'm going to add one thing here, guys, before I close this, because you asked me this question, and I really want to give you this answer, and we'll cover it again next week. But we're going to cover a little bit of some of the shakes next week, and our bodies and how our bodies handle fat versus muscle as we go forward. But one of the products you have been asking so much about, because there seems to be a little confusion, has to do with your SunFit Protein Plus. We will cover it next week, but I just want you to know something about it. I think that a lot of you do not know what the benefits of the pea protein in it really are. So just to give you a little taste of what's coming next week, I want you to know that pea protein that is in your Protein Plus has the protein of someone else who's eating a steak. That's how much protein is in it. It's also what we call an anti-inflammatory. It does not inflame. It's the reverse. So those of you who are using the Protein Plus, I want to remind you that pea protein does not encourage inflammation. It discourages it and reduces it. Okay? The other thing with pea protein is it fills you up. And so that's important for a lot of you to get that full feeling. But here's one of the benefits. It helps with what protein does. Grow the nails, the hair follicles, your eyelashes, and thicken. I love this. It's going to thicken your hair. But also for a lot of you who've been on, a lot of you have told me this.
You're in the wrong place.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're the owner who left.
Oh. Okay. Guys, I'm going to have you go on mute. The last piece of that pea protein that's in our Sunrider SunFit Protein Plus, guys. Remember that it can and it will act just like protein, so you build antibodies, which means it builds your immune system. So we've got building the immune system, helps you to lose your weight, build muscle, which is what protein does, build hair, right? The hair follicles, the eyelashes. Think of anywhere you grow hair, okay? Your nail bed so that your nails are thicker. And also, I think very important, allows for your bones that are porous not to be porous anymore. That's just a little taste of where we're going to go next week. And so pea protein, not an inflammatory, reverse, anti-inflammatory. Okay, I know a few of you are staying away from it. You thought it was an inflammatory. Okay, guys, would anyone else like to add anything before we finish? Well, I hope you will now go ahead and order your fruit and vegetable rinse, refresher drops, and of course, your Sun Smile tabs, and get ahead of the game and order your Protein Plus. I will speak with you next week. Marlene, would you like to share what the next meetings are? I think Donna's already gone to her next one.
Yes, this call, Bob and Donna's Zoom call, you can go right to the Rising Stars for the link and the phone number.
Fabulous.
And that's a fantastic call, too. And thank you, Karen. Really fantastic information.
You're welcome. All right, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm about to order more products for my family because you would think that I was a new person that knew nothing, and I just taught myself. So I hope you're having the same epiphany, and you'll go order more product like me. I am not ashamed to say I don't think I have enough of this in my house. I'm ordering more. Okay. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Feel well. Thank you all who shared and contributed. As always, you all offer so much amazing information and insight. Love you all. Good night, everyone.